up, so you got about a minute.
Okay.
All right, and I'll let you listen.
Redlands football. This Saturday, November 13th at 1 p.m., the Bulldogs meet Cal Lutheran University. Live from Ted Runner Stadium in Redlands. I'm Mitch McClellan. Join Brett Malik and me as the Bulldogs meet the Kingsmen in a SCIAC conference game. University of Redlands football broadcasts are brought to you by Gallagher's Finishing Touch Engraving, the Gourmet Pizza Shop in historic downtown Redlands, Hatfield Buick GMC, Mattress Brothers, Pericone Juices, Storage West, Savarino's Italian Deli and Market, and the Bulldog Bench. That's University of Redlands football action this Saturday afternoon at 12:45 for the pregame show, followed by kickoff at 1 o'clock. Live from Redlands on your home for Bulldog football, KMET 1490 AM.
That's right. It's the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. We're so happy to have each and every one of you on today's show. We've got some good stuff, some great stuff, and some amazing stuff. We just got to bring it all together with you, our social media audience. We know whether you're listening on the radio and or any device known as Alexa, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope TV, LinkedIn Live, and or any other. We want to say thank you. Always adding to the conversation you guys do whenever you comment. Let us know where you're tuning in from. We love to give shout outs and we love to meet our neighbors from around the world. We've had people visit us from India, from Europe, from Australia, from the U.S. here, of course, across all the way from Alaska. I don't know if anybody's ever tuned in from Antarctica. That would be an interesting one. I'm bringing up the live feed as we speak, and as you can see, it's right there. So go check it out. Click on the bonus link as well, and that'll help us out as well. It's if you want to drive for Lyft, and I will say this: they actually pay really good, and they pay daily. So I will say, if you click on that little link and maybe you apply, maybe you're looking for some extra cash and you want to maybe have a side hustle or just a main hustle, it's pretty good. Just look into it, and they give you a bonus for signing up. They need more drivers, and I can tell you right now, it's good because when you need some cash, you just make it. It goes to your app, and then you send it to your bank account, and it's there the very same day. So it's a really good service to have, especially when you kind of are in a pinch and you're like, how am I going to pay for it? Oh, wait. I can drive Lyft for a good 8 days, and then boom, you got your money, right? So a lot of people make some good money there. So go ahead and click on that. And again, big shout out to those tuning in. We got Jesse Sanchez over there. Jesse, what's new with you and the world so far?
Good morning. Yeah, there's a lot going on in the world. A lot of good, a lot of bad. Uh, I don't know if you. I've been looking at all the posts and stuff about what's happening in the Astro World event that happened on Friday. Did you hear about that?
You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I have heard a lot of stuff, but I haven't heard enough about that myself. But I know you have.
I heard a little bit, but like to be honest, I didn't even know what it was going on because I was on. I think it was on Friday. I was just watching TikTok and I saw all these videos of like Astro World and people jumping gates, running like what looks like a stage, people being crushed, screaming for help. I'm like, what the heck is going on?
Mm-hmm,
And
mm-hmm.
then it was only the next day I figured out what was going on,
Mm.
and that it was a music concert, and the fact that children died at that concert is absolutely just it's gross.
Yeah, I'm looking at that now, and I'm not gonna lie. A 9-year-old Ezra Blount fighting for his life after being crushed at Astro World Festival. Some are calling it a death trap, like it was just going to happen based on, I guess, the way it was run. Is that the best way to say it?
That yeah, that's what I'm gonna think. I was like, whoever was maintaining that security, they dropped the ball so bad.
Right.
I mean, I I went to two Ozfest concerts that looked more organized than this.
Mm,
So, and it was just like, oh my god. And I was just like, and I've even seen mosh pits, and you know what? People do get hurt in those, but you know what? They drag those people out so that they don't get hurt anymore. So it's just sad that people just look after themselves and not others. So it's really sad.
Yeah, the concert surge chaos at Travis Scott's Astro World Festival claimed the lives of 8 people. That was Friday night. There were more injured. Some of those are still fighting for their lives. That's the current news that I have here. Ezra Blount, who's age 9, is one of those victims. He went to the concert on Friday with his father. At a point during the show, he was on his father's shoulders in order to stay out of and above the crowd. But when things got out of control, his father was overcome himself, passed out, and fell. Ezra fell as well and was trampled. Initially, the boy was taken to a hospital as a John Doe, separated from his father. Family members tried to find him, only to discover that Ezra suffered major organ damage and was in a coma. Oh, man. Jesse, this is sad. Relatives say to a local news agency known as ABC 13, Ezra had severe brain swelling as well. They're clinging to hope and praying for his recovery. In the meantime, they're asking for someone to take accountability. They said, how could this happen in the city of Houston? You know, when we go to concerts and different events, we expect safety and security. A GoFundMe has actually been set up to help the family with expenses. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie. This is one of those stories that you're just like, oh man, don't let that be. But if you want to, contribute, if it's in your power to do so. I know sometimes, it isn't, and I understand that. But here it is. Here's the information. A recovery. Um, and it says, "Hi, I'm Tristan Blount. I'm starting this fundraiser for my son. He's 9 years old. His name is Ezra Blount. We attended Travis Scott's Astro World Fest. I had my son on my shoulders, awaiting Drake's stage appearance. I began to be crushed until I couldn't breathe. I passed out and I woke up, and my son was gone due to his severe injuries, which are swelling in the back of brain damage and trauma to nearly all our organs. We are certain that he was trampled and is still in an induced coma. We're thankful for his life and thankful for all the prayers and positivity." Now, so far, as you see there for our radio audience, their goal is honestly just whatever they can get to help them. And evidently, on that, you can see an anonymous donation of $5,000. But so far, they've raised 220 donations at $12,991. But having said that, this is just one of those things where, again, he's fighting for his life right now, and I hope he makes it. He's not dead. There you go. So that's very difficult and very hard to see, and I hope he recovers. But if he doesn't, that's going to be a terrible thing for the whole family. We have prevented that when in reality, it wasn't for them to prevent. It was the promoters, right? It was the ones who didn't have, like you said, proper security, proper protocol, and proper things to make sure it didn't go the way it did. But whenever you're in a situation like that, and I've been in a stampede type situation at Six Flags when I was 15, and I remember gunshots going off, and I'll tell you right now, you always have to go away from the crowd. The crowd will be crazy. People do not think. They just run and they trample, and people fall. If you see someone fall, you get them and you pick them up. But if you're the one that fell and people are literally running over you because there's no space to move, well, that right there is a problem as well. Um, Even this, according to some information, here's a top post. Fire chief says Travis Scott absolutely should have ended Astro World show. Uh, it should have stopped it. So there's a lot of questions. Here's another article from CNN. Astroworld was a death trap, attendee says, as more lawsuits are filed at Travis Scott's Las Vegas show canceled. So this is not going to be good for Astro World, and definitely the promoters, and definitely the attendees and the musicians and all that. I guarantee you they're going to go bankrupt. I don't think they're going to get any money at all, to be honest. I don't think they have that kind of money. If they had some insurance, I don't know if they have the right insurance. But Drake also speaking out about it as well. And look, this isn't good for Drake. I'll tell you right now, it's not. He's gonna have a hard time with this. He's got a good heart, but he's gonna have to. Well, this is what it said. He made a surprise appearance in Houston, released his first public statement on Monday night regarding the November 5th tragedy. 8 people died, many others were injured at the event. He says, quote, this: "I've spent the past few days trying to wrap my mind around this devastating tragedy. I hate resorting to this platform to express an emotion as delicate as grief. But this is where I find myself. My heart's broken for the families and friends of those who lost their lives and for anyone who's suffering. I will continue to pray for all of them and will be of service in any way I can. May God be with you all." His statement comes, of course, shared by Scott in the aftermath of the event. He says, "I'm absolutely devastated by what took place last night." That's Travis Scott. who said in his initial statement, November 6th, my prayers go out to the families and all those impacted by what happened at Astroworld Festival. Then he posted an Instagram story video that he was working right now to identify the family. So he says, so we can help assist them through this tough time. Scott Drake have been sued over Astroworld already. Scott has promised that all tickets from the event will be refunded and has said that he plans to cover funeral costs for those who died at the festival. The incident began when the crowd began to compress towards the front of the stage, causing panic and injuries. Now, anybody that's ever attended an event like this knows it gets out of hand really quick. Some of the signs you always need to look for if you attend a certain event like this is if it's overcrowded and are oversold. That's a problem. That's why limitations are there for a reason. If you see more than the adequate amount of people, and I know it's like, oh, yay, we're all here, but it just takes one bad thing to go wrong, and now everybody is in a problem. Houston Fire Chief Samuel Pena said during a press conference following the event that it wasn't a good thing. He added that the festival's on-site medical units were quickly overwhelmed following the crowd surge. Astroworld 2021 was meant to continue for a second night, but was canceled following the tragedy. So these are the type of things that you kind of scratch your head and you go, who would allow this to happen? But I would say sometimes people don't know their numbers when it comes to selling tickets, and maybe they just oversold. They thought, oh, we're going to make a lot of money, and not focusing on the safety of it all, and or allowing for, honestly, proper people to come in and or things to happen. Because obviously what caused this is something else entirely different, right, Jesse? I think there was more to the story than just it being overran, right?
I think so. I mean, a lot of the people that that came there, they're to blame too, because like before the concert even started, I seen people jump gates just trying to get in. They trampled over a fence wall and just trying to get in. So it was really
Yeah.
sad to see how them react to that. And I was just thinking back to when I went to my first concert. It was Ozfest. Ozfest, by the way, Hard Rock.
Yeah.
So I went with my younger cousin who was 15.
Oh, wow.
So I didn't even think about, safety and stuff like that. So as I think back now, I'm just like, were we safe? Yeah, I believe we were, because there were officers everywhere. There was tons of them, and it was, as crazy as it was organized.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's probably the best thing, right? When it is organized. But like I said, whenever you have a certain amount of people and you have a certain amount of tickets and you have a certain amount of staff to go around, that's why you kind of gotta like be okay with certain security members being kind of abrupt with you. You know what I mean? They're like, hey, step behind the line, and you just got to give them the respect, because they're hired there to keep everybody safe, right? And usually these type of things are watched very closely, but obviously nobody practicing social distancing there. That's another thing. And I'm not going to lie, I think there's going to be a surge there of coronavirus victims as well. But hopefully the people that, are currently hurting I guess the thing is, you should never think you're going to a concert and then you're going to come not back from it alive, right? So we've
Right.
had multiple of those, like the Vegas shooting. That was terrible.
Oh my god, I forgot about that one. That was
Yeah.
horrible too.
Yeah, that was devastation, of the highest magnitude in that area. Whenever you drive down there and you kind of go, I think it's, is it Mandalay Bay that which one?
Yeah, I think it was the Mandalay Bay or something like that.
Yeah, I can't remember which one it was that he was shooting from the windows. And when you see the area and it's just like an empty place, you're like, man, how quick something can go from really bad to super bad, right, overnight. So that's why I say, do not allow our frontline workers to get dead in the middle of it by not allowing them to go back to work. Now, this is a top story which I think needs to be shared right now. Green Bay Packers quarterback Aaron Rodgers has been in the hot seat after admitting he was not vaccinated against COVID-19 after testing positive, despite claiming he was immunized. In an interview on the Pat McAfee show, he said he was allergic to an ingredient used in 2 mRNA vaccines, Pfizer and Moderna, and steered away from the Johnson & Johnson vaccine after reports of adverse reactions. Now, in April, the administrating of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine was paused after rare but severe reports of blood clotting in 6 individuals. Now, it was lifted 11 days later. This was back again when it first came out, right? Not recently. Now, Rogers did not disclose what ingredient he was allergic to, but noted that the CDC warned those allergic to the polyethylene glycol ingredient should choose another form of protection against the virus. And that's true, by the way. That's true. But the question is, how would you know that you're allergic to it or not? Right, Jesse? If I told you that, you're probably like, what the heck is that?
Right. I'm just like, what the heck is that? And how does he know that he's allergic to it?
Well, and it
I'm
does say
allergic.
that, but that's why I say you got to do your research. That right? So I'm going to look up polyethylene glycol. All right, and get a little smart on this. It's actually used to treat occasional constipation. Oh, okay. It's in a class of medications called osmotic laxatives. What? What's that doing in our coronavirus vaccines? It works by causing water to be retained with the stool. This increases the number of bowel movements and softens the stool so it is easier to pass. Oh, you might as well say it's X-Lax. Right, Jesse?
Oh my God. Yeah, that's pretty much is what
No,
it is.
that's what it says. Substitute Miralax. So it's basically X-Lax in the coronavirus. Are you kidding me? So there you go. It says those are allergic to. So I don't know what happens to it when he takes it. He said, quote, health is not a one size fits all of everybody. I agree with that. I keep saying that everybody's biology is different. Right? Do you have an allergy to dairy, Jesse?
You know what? I believe I do. I'm lactose intolerant, but
Yeah.
if I don't take those pills, it drops me like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah, exactly. So okay, so my point is that's why these warnings you have to read them. Okay, now he's smart. He read it. So he says it involved a lot of study in the off season. See, so he studied it. Smart guy. He says my medical team advised me that the danger of an adverse event was greater than the risk of getting COVID and recovery. Now, 37, he faces criticism for his reasoning behind not getting vaccinated and his evasiveness regarding his vaccine status prior to testing positive for the virus. On the Pat McAfee show, he said there was a witch hunt in the NFL for those who were not vaccinated and who wasn't. Now, see, I told you this is going to come back to hurt people because if you find out you have an allergy to something, I'll give you an example. There are certain medications that when you go into the hospital, they say, are you allergic to anything? And they want to know that right off the bat because it could cause swelling in your throat. It could cause an adverse reaction with some of the pills that you might, take eventually. Some people, they say, are you allergic to penicillin? Some people, even though penicillin is really good, have an adverse reaction to penicillin. It might drop their blood pressure and then some if they don't know this, right? You won't know until you take it, obviously. But the moment you take it, you're like, what's wrong with me? Oh, it must have been the medication and that's why you always want to make sure you know your list of medications that you're getting. But if that happens, now you know for life, okay, this is what I'm allergic to, right? People are allergic to all sorts of things, weird things. Okay, I'm allergic to bell peppers. I keep saying that, red and or green. I just know I am. I know everybody gives me that look, Jesse, but it's just me. And I looked up the research, and I'm not the only person. There are like 1.8% of the world's population actually are allergic to bell peppers. Right? I'm one of the very few. It's
Wow, you don't know what you're missing.
it's my biology. Well, I used to be able to take it when I was younger, but then all of a sudden when I turned, I think 24. I became more susceptible to it. 24 or 26. I don't really know. Why? I got no clue. But everybody's body is different. So he says, at the time, my plan was to say I've been immunized. It wasn't some sort of ruse or lie. It was the truth. Was to say it. Okay. Rogers was referencing a press conference in August. Remember, the media asked if he was vaccinated. He responded by saying he was immunized. He said he was not an anti-vaxxer, but a critical thinker. In other words, he did his research, okay? He says, I'm not a COVID denier or any expletive like that. I just wanted to make the best choice for my body. Now, he's right. Okay. A lot of people don't do the research. And I keep saying, do the research. Johnson & Johnson, Moderna, and Pfizer are not created equally. Period. End of story. Okay. And now they have warnings on the list if they do it proper, which has like a 8 numbered list, which if you have this, then you have this, and then you have this, you may not want to have this, right? So there's warnings on there now, but that doesn't mean, oh, one size fits all. That's what I keep saying, okay? The 3-time MVP said he was allergic to an ingredient in mRNA vaccines decided against the Johnson & Johnson shot. He pursued alternative measures to protect himself and used ivermectin, a drug used to treat threadworms, roundworms, and other parasites that also has not been approved by the FDA to treat COVID-19. In short, Rogers could be allergic to the ingredient. There you go. And the ingredient, polyethylene glycol, or PEG, also known as Oxalate, XX, has been hypothesized to be the cause of severe post-vaccination allergic reactions. Now, a recent study in the Annals of Allergy, Asthma, and Immunology found that not to be true. But everybody's going to say something different, right? There's a reason there's a warning on the label. Blanca Kaplan, who's co-author of the study and specialist in adult and pediatric allergy and immunology from Northwell Health, said that they found most people with severe post-vaccination allergic symptoms were not caused by hypersensitivity to PEG. But again, each and everybody is different. If he knows he's allergic to it, then it's a thing, period, end of story. Now, there's this question, how common are allergic reactions to the vaccine? I would say more than not. I talked about tinnitus the other day, and I said that there's at least, I think right now there's about 13,000 in the U.S. that experience anywhere from an hour to 8 hours later high-pitched ringing, but it doesn't go away. It stays for a good 3 to 4 weeks. That's because it's the inner eardrum, and the inner eardrum is getting swollen in a bad way because, as people know, especially with the Moderna shot, certain lymph nodes get swollen, and or all of a sudden kind of straining of the throat happens, right? And they go, what's going on? That usually goes away in 3 to 4 days with the Moderna shot, especially the first 2 doses. People were good with the first set of the dose, and then the second set of the dose, that's when they really felt terrible, usually from anywhere from 3 to 4 days, almost as though they had the virus, right? Now, I will say, my mom got the Johnson & Johnson, and we waited for sure because we did research. And my mom did not suffer in any which way. She recently got her second one, and I got my first one. So there you go. So I'm up to speed. She's up to speed. And you still got to remember, every 4 to 6 months, you got to get the one that is more recent because of the new strains. Okay, period, end of story. We keep saying that. But remember, speak wisdom to your heart, and you'll speak wisdom to your mind. All right, people, we're going to be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned with more right after this.
You're running out of letterhead. What do? Lithopass Printing. You need business cards. Now what? Lithopass Printing. Invitations to a wedding? Lithopass Printing and Banning is the answer. Lithopass Printing can provide banners, signs, and blueprints. Think of Lithopass Printing and Banning for quality graduation, birthday party, and baby shower invitations. Lithopass Printing also provides lamination, faxing, and photo prints. If you need it inked, make it Lithopass Printing. Lithopass Printing and Banning.
Are you paying rent because you think you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you renting because you don't believe that you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? The Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com, license under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Hey, Mark's here. We want people should know about the new Italian radio show on KMET. Like my Uncle Vinny used to say, Gumbas non stunad.
SD, there is no such words in Italian.
Forget about it. Tell them about the show.
The Italian Radio Show, presented by West Coast Italian Radio.
Mondays at 4 p.m. on KMET 1490, or stream us live 24/7 from our website at WCIR.biz.
Make sure to tune in.
You don't want them, we should have to tell you twice.
Your Pharmacy and Mobility Solutions now has Pack Your Meds. That's right, just add water. You order 5 or more prescriptions from Your Pharmacy and Mobility Solutions, and they will pack your meds for you in AM/PM marked packs. No more sitting down and counting and dropping them on the floor. You remember, it's not fun. I didn't like it. So now they'll do it for you. Safe, sealed, and dated. So call Your Pharmacy and Mobility Solutions at 951-845-8252.
Facing a criminal charge and the possibility of a jail sentence can be terrifying. Wallen and Claridge is here to help you. Call 877-466-5245. Our law firm has been successfully defending clients facing crimes for over 40 years. We have offices throughout Riverside and San Bernardino County. Call us at 877-466-5245. That is 877-4NO-JAIL for a free phone consultation. We will be there when you call.
This is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. We appreciate each and every of your comments and social media. And checking out some comments here, actually. Let me go ahead and go to the Facebook link there where you guys are commenting. And I'll tell you right now, sometimes the comments are not coming up on my phone app. It's really weird. But so if you're commenting and we don't comment right away, don't think we're not seeing your stuff, because evidently I just went to the live feed on my Facebook desktop version, but it says something that doesn't say it on my phone version, so it's really weird. So that's not you guys, that's us. But this is what Stephanie Reed says on two of the stories that we just shared. She says the first concert I went to was the Beach Boys, and it was outside of Nonica. And like my mom told me, when going into a venue like a concert, you got to keep a close watch of your surroundings and know where the exit of the concert is. That is 100% fact. Yeah, I always, whenever I'm in a large area, because I remember being in a stampede type situation where there were gunshots all of a sudden out of nowhere, I'm always looking for, okay, where do I go if there's a problem? I never like to be in the middle of a situation like that. And you know what I do? I don't go with the crowd. I go the opposite way of the crowd. I was like, no. Because with the crowd, you don't know who's coming after you or behind you and, going to trample you. Because when everybody's like, neck and neck and neck, and I guarantee you there's going to be a huge surge. There were a lot of people there. You got to be careful there. Now, Stephanie Reed says this: I know about allergic reactions because this year I was on amoxicillin pill from the dentist for an abscessed tooth and never knew I was allergic to until I got a bad rash on my arms and my eye was puffy. Yeah. And sometimes what people don't understand is sometimes those allergies, they sound like not much of anything, but if it's combined with the wrong thing, that's how people sometimes can suffocate all of a sudden. That's why some people have like the, what do they call it? The EpiPill? Or not the EpiPill, what's that thing that you
An
put
EpiPen.
Huh?
An EpiPen?
Yeah, an EpiPen. Yeah, and epidural pen for the heart, I think, or something like that, right?
I think it's called epinephrine.
Yeah, there you go, or something. Okay, see, I'm completely wrong. But there you go. So my point is, you need one of those because sometimes, like, I can't breathe. Like, some people, when they have peanuts, perfect example. Peanut can be a really bad allergen, right? And if you're just joining us, we're talking about Green Bay Packers football player who says, look, man, I know I didn't get it because, this is a warning label for me. I'm allergic to this certain ingredient. I did research. I did the right thing, and I made this choice for my body. Are you going to have to live with my body? And that's really, at the end of the day, what's going to happen in probably the next 3 to 4 months. A lot of people are going to sue for their jobs. A lot of people are going to get upset, and they're going to say, look, it's my right to choose and or not choose. Now, I will say this. It does the choice outweigh you getting sick with coronavirus? I would say that depends on who you are. That's why they say certain labels. Anyone, honestly, over 48, I think right now, with certain heart problems and or lung issues are more susceptible with coronavirus right here, right now. And they have a harder time recovering right away. Now, this whole idea of if everybody gets vaccinated, now all of a sudden we're all going to be good is not necessarily the situation. And with the different variants coming out again and again and again, remember, these vaccines are temporary. They're a temporary fix. They're not long-term fix. They don't create immunity in you 100%, just so you know. People have gotten coronavirus shots and then gotten it 3 months later, the coronavirus. And about anywhere from 8 to 12% have actually died still of coronavirus. But those numbers are still being reported every now and then because everybody's looking at the global thing of how do we get ahead of this. And we do get ahead of this by having vaccines available. But it's not one size fits all. That's what I'm saying. It's not one size fits all, just like some pills are not good for everyone. Aspirin, for example, has been getting kind of some heat as of late. Some prefer Advil, some prefer Motrin, some prefer what other ones are there, Jesse?
Aleve is one of the most common ones.
Aleve, okay, yeah. Tylenol, right? There's some news about Tylenol as of late. What's going on there? I don't know. But the reality is each and every although it sounds less harmful each and every time, that's why ibuprofen, they say take it with food, right? Because it can create problems in the stomach lining if taken over too many times without any food, right? It creates a problem on the lining of the stomach, possibly leading to ulcers if taken in high doses, anywhere from 3 to 4 months, habitually, every single day, 3 times a day. Okay, so that's why they say take it with food so as to not cause problems for the stomach, right? That's called a warning label, although we know ibuprofen is mainly meant for, of course, less pain. It's also meant for other things. It's an anti-inflammatory, as well as Aleve is, as well as certain aspirins are, in order for people to help save their heart, right? So all these things being put into our body, sometimes we don't realize the chemical compounds that affect our body, whether it be good or bad. And some of our bodies do not react the same. All right, I'll give you an example. One woman who might take it for her cramps, right? She might take Aleve for her cramps. Or what's the other one that's really good? Somebody used to call it something else. And I always tell women, I said, don't suffer through it. Take, it wasn't Aleve, it was another one. There's one really good for the cramps. And I'll tell you right now, when you do that one, you're like, I can't remember the name of it. But anyway, you're on cloud 9 when you take it. Do you know which one it is, Jesse?
What's the first letter of it?
People think it's all for women. It's not, because it's marketed as that, but it's meant for cramps.
Motrin?
No, I mean, you could take that.
I don't know. I don't think I take that pill. So
no, you don't, because you're not a lady. But
there you go.
Maybe it is Aleve. No, it's not Aleve, because we renamed it for guys. Because I'm like, I took it once. I go, you know what? This feels really good. For menstrual cramps, there's a pain medication that you can take over the counter, and it's called. Why can't I remember it? All right. Anyway, it's really good. I'm not gonna lie. I took it when I was really sore, and I'm like, because it was recommended by somebody who was in stunts and in martial arts, and she said to me, she says, I've recommended this to guys whenever they work out too hard, and it actually works really good. And I said, oh, well, then that's good. Midol, or also known as Lodim for the guys. If you don't want to say you took Midol, right? You can switch it up, right? I think it's Midol. Isn't that the one that's for Midol?
Yes, it's Midol.
Yeah, Midol. Yeah, load 'em is what I like to call it. Load 'em up is the way you feel once you take at least one. You're like, you know what? This is really good for me. So I will say it was good for me when I was really sore, and I was like, you know what? I am not gonna not take Midol. So I've recommended this to some ladies who suffer through it. I go, why suffer through it when you can actually ease those symptoms? Because have you ever had cramps in your stomach for too long? That's terrible. Any lady that's had it for any given time, there's a reason you got to walk on eggshells around a lady who has bad cramps. It's like misery for your stomach, right? Sometimes you'll see like a heat pad and it's like, what are you talking about, Jesse? It's that time of the month. And you have to be very, very loving during that time. You have to say, look, if you have menstrual cramps, I'm going to say you are always right. You do that, you'll be good. By the time she's done with her menstrual cramps, then you could call out her stuff that she was all wrong about. But never during, Jesse, never during. It's like when you feel nauseous and you don't want anybody to talk to you because all loud sounds are like in your head. It's like that, right? So do not ever go at a lady who's cramping up in her stomach. It doesn't feel good, okay? And that's a lot of stuff happening in the, just no. But my point is this. Midol is good for men as well, although it's marketed to women. Just so you know, Jesse. So if you ever feel a lot of pain, take Midol. And if you don't want to call it Midol, take Lodim.
If it works, it works. I don't care if it's made for a lady, a giraffe. As long as the medication works, I don't care. I'll take it.
There you go. And it says Midol Complete Menstrual Pain Relief. But I'm telling you, man, it's good for the guys too. I think if they remarketed this as Lodim, people would be like, I like this. It feels good. So there you go. Anyway, my point is this. You have to make sure that you do the research. Sometimes there are allergic reactions to even some of these as well. Even though it's known as aspirin or acetaminophen or something. Acetaminophen. There are certain reactions that happen in certain bodies. So it's not one size fits all, just so you know. Okay, so be careful out there and do the research. And then when you come back and you say you've done the research, don't fire people for just knowing their research, okay? That's dumb. Just, say, okay, practice social distancing and don't come near me. And that's all I got to say about that. Oh, and test regularly. Okay, that's how we prevent this from getting out of hand. All right, people, we'll take a quick little break. We'll be right back right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Together We Are Strong is a product brand which stands for unity, equality, and protecting voting rights. Shop now at togetherwearestrong.com for t-shirts, hats, and coffee mugs. All voting rights profits are donated to Rock the Vote, an organization on a mission to empowering young voters. Become an activist without saying a word. TogetherWeAreStrong.com. Make a difference in America and the world. Shop online at TogetherWeAreStrong.com. Give the gift that helps drive change. Go visit TogetherWeAreStrong.com.
Here's to your health with Joshua Lane. Ideas you can use to be healthy and stay healthy. The current thinking about beauty, fitness, and longevity. Every Tuesday and Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. Wellness talk you can use. Here's to your health with Joshua Lane on KMET, naturally.
The staff and families at Custom Care Solutions caregivers take this time out to recognize and salute the Palm Desert men and women in uniform, standing tall for our political and economic freedoms around the world. Let's always remember them in our thoughts and prayers. Their efforts abroad and our support have kept America strong. That message was courtesy of your good friends at Custom Care Solutions caregivers, 42201 Beacon Hill in Palm Desert. They're always working to keep our community moving in a positive direction.
Take KMET 1490 AM with you everywhere you go by downloading our free smartphone apps found on the KMET website, KMET1490am.com. You can also go to the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store on your phone to download the free app. Now you can listen live or play any of your favorite programmers' podcasts using your smartphone. Go to KMET1490am.com and download your free phone app today.
There's more to the water you drink than you think. It's structure that matters the most to your body. So healthy is clean and pure and mineralized, but processed has lost the structure essential to water. It comes right back with the golden ratio. Your glassware is all it takes, so get it right. You'll be sharper by day and sleep better at night. GoldenRatioProducts.com.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM, and wherever you're tuning in from, we appreciate you. It is the morning show, weekdays at 8 a.m., and we have some good content coming up in the days ahead, so looking forward to that, as well as AFI is upon us. AFI, the American Film Institute, is happening this Thursday. We'll probably be attending in person, so going to bring to you live from the carpet some of the great interviews that will be happening there. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, Aaron M. Sanchez. You can follow me there and or Facebook and or Twitter, and we'll be doing that as well as around the corner, the auto show. Okay, the auto show is going to be happening, and it looks to be a really good one. I'm still wondering if they're going to keep it, to be honest. That's kind of like a hit and miss thing with California right now. I just saw a report where some of the numbers are actually up, not down. So we'll see. We'll see if they're going to keep it. But it's an auto show. Happens every single year. It didn't happen last year, and they did it all virtual. And I can tell you right now, it was a bomb. Nobody attended online because it's one of those things where you want to attend in person. Right? And I just felt it wasn't done well. I felt that they should have amplified it on Facebook and or Twitter and not keep it like a portal place to go. You always got to have it in multiple places. You have a portal place on a website, and then you stream it online on all platforms, right? And then let everybody know that they could share it and or comment, and then you'll have people share it. But they did it kind of in a weird way, more for like industry professionals, and I think it just didn't work for them. So but this year, according to this, and we will be in person, hopefully if it does go through, and we'll be making a very important announcement of certain nominations for this year's potential winners, as I'm a judge and panelist there at the Hispanic Motor Press with Ricardo Rodriguez. And as you know, we test out vehicles each and every week, a good majority of us, which make up a lot of people, industry people as well in the Latin community. And we see it from the eyes of those many that honestly cannot afford big budget cars and or vehicles. And I will say, I feel as though some of the big manufacturers really need to get on board with the mentality of we got to be of service to all, Because I will say, and I've never thought I would say this, but I'm just going to say this. Being part of what's called the Hispanic Motor Press, some people really show their true colors when they don't want to engage and or participate. What I mean by that is there are certain manufacturing vehicle names of which I'm going to not say, but they kind of are very high and mighty behind the scenes. And what I mean by that is some will say that's not our demographic. And I say, what do you mean that's not your demographic? Well, that's just not our demographic. What do you mean that's not your demographic? Well, we are looking for a different demographic. What do you mean a different demographic? We're just not looking for your demographic. Of what is my demographic? You know. And you go, what are you trying to say with the Hispanic population of Latinos? What are you trying to go with that? So if you look at the numbers of certain manufacturers and certain high-end models like BMW, Mercedes-Benz, and or the like, you will find out very quickly. They say they don't market to the Latino individual, period, end of story. And you say, wait, they say that? And then you're a Latino and you're driving one of these cars. You're like, I don't understand that. Why would they do that? Because they're looking for a different caliber of person. Yeah, hate to say that, but there it is. So sometimes we deal with these things, and I go, okay, you need different people in your group of people, because I think if you did the math, BMW in Latin America is actually higher than normal. You're thinking here in the States, and you're thinking that all Latinos are poor and are insignificant in the long run, period, end of story. So you think, oh, they make only worth 30 to 80,000 max, and you're looking for the guy that makes 90 to 180,000 a year, right? Period, end of story. That's the problem with these manufacturers. Sometimes they're in their own bubble, and they don't realize anybody and everybody wants to pay down big amounts of money on things. To which I say, don't pay for a brand name, pay for reliability, right? So I love the companies that market to everybody, which is like Honda, Toyota, Lexus, and the like. But some of these other ones are a little too high and mighty. But that's my opinion, and I'm going to keep my opinion to myself and right here on the morning show. And I've shared it with others, so I don't really care what they say. Like, how dare you talk to, well, how dare you treat us that way? So I will say this. Being a Latino with the Sanchez name, I never grew up thinking about Latino or Hispanic. I really didn't. And I had this conversation with somebody going, oh, I never thought about that. But I see how people marginalize people. They say, well, you're not our demographic. What do you mean you're not? I'm not your demographic. Shouldn't you want to advertise to certain ages that can afford certain things and not look at the skin color of certain people? Because I can tell you right now, you say that to a cartel member in Mexico, you will say, oh, shoot. What do they drive other than Mercedes-Benz and or and BMWs, right, Jesse? I think they drive more Mercedes-Benz, but you know what I mean?
I have no idea. I have never been a member of the cartel, so I do not know what they drive. So, but yeah, if I was one of them, I would drive those cars.
I dated a girl who had a cartel member stalker. It was weird. And I was like, are you kidding me? Oh, great. I'm going to have to deal with this. And so, yeah. But you know what? All I could say is this. I don't care. I don't care. I got nothing to live for, so whatever. All right. Anyway, look, long story short, my point is this. We got to be careful out there. The LA Auto Show is still there. There's some really cool cars. But sometimes if people look at you a certain way, I say, why? Why? Is my money not good enough for you? What's wrong with you? So there you go. The LA Auto Show, November 19th to the 28th. Again, the majority of manufacturers, cater to everybody, really. But there are some that are kind of run in a really bad way by certain people that just are like, yeah, that's just not our demographic. Oh, you know what I say? Maybe you're not the demographic of the world because you think in a very small mentality. Okay, period, end of story. Now, I'm going to bring up the thing here because you can actually get tickets right now, and it looks amazing. I just hope. Here it is, the LA Auto. Here it is. It is everything and then some, all at a glance. And if you haven't ever been to the LA Auto Show with your family, I will say you are definitely. Well, they got all kinds of things. I mean, as you can see there, I mean, it's like amazing, right? They're obviously going to implement COVID safety, so but tickets are on sale for new car debuts and EV innovation, also known as electric vehicles, and more. All at the LA Auto Show. And they get they allow you to test certain vehicles ahead of time. They have activities. I don't know how many activities they're going to have this year. Again, as you can see, this is a home prior to coronavirus where nobody's wearing face masks. So I don't know if that's going to create a problem for people this year. But it's just fun. You get to try out the Jeep. You get to try out the stuff. And they just got so many cool stuff for the family eventually. We're going to go through what they call Media Day. And Media Day will have a lot of stuff. And so a lot of people are excited for this, and rightly so, especially if you're a car enthusiast. And even if you're not a car enthusiast, it's pretty cool for the whole family just to see all the new technologies and other things coming out, especially certain preview cars, like cars of the future, right? And if you go back to the history of the LA Auto Show, I think it goes back to maybe I want to say the 30s. And future vehicles, if you look at old pictures of the LA Auto Show, you will see concept cars way back then, thinking about what would the future look like eventually, right? And so there's so many different types of manufacturers. Some of the things that you go, wow, I can't believe they have this. I can't believe they have that. And there you go. They also have motorcycles. They have electric bikes. They have everything that's motorized pretty much. And it's just an amazing eye catch. Everything you look at is pretty cool. So there you go. It's right next to the Staples Center at the LA Convention Center for a good, I think, 3 weeks. One of the newest things, the Zivas, is something that people are really starting to talk about. I know we're going to have questions about this. It's the first ever Zivas Awards, celebrating the latest in zero-emission vehicles available for sale or pre-order. Okay, the Zivas. Again, I don't know what exactly it is. We'll find out. But there's going to be free test drives, vehicles on display, interactive e-exhibits, shows and photos and videos that you could take. And it'll start on November 19th, Friday, and then it goes all the way to November 28th. So there you go. Did I say 3 weeks? Maybe not that much. Okay, 1 week and a half, maybe, whatever. Okay, and there you go. So that's where they release all the new stuff. So come join the fun, and then you'll be able to have all the fun and then some all in one place. So I recommend it. Again, social distancing, November 19th. We're going to take another. Check out all of what we got again on Facebook and or Twitter. It's KMET 1490 AM or Twitter KMET Radio. We'll be right back with more after these messages. Stay tuned.
Tried shipping a package lately? It's amazing how difficult and time-consuming it can be. Packing, envelopes, boxes, second-day ground, next-day air, it's all enough to give you a headache. Next time, do yourself a favor, go with the pros at the UPS store in Beaumont. They'll pack it right and let you know all your shipping options. You can also take care of everyday tasks like copies, faxing, notary services, and live scan fingerprinting. And while you're there, pay your Edison, gas company, and Verizon bills. Open extended hours Monday through Saturday. The UPS store in Beaumont, located in the Oak Valley Plaza at 1440 Beaumont Avenue. Call 951-769-5956. That's 951-769-5956. Online at the upsstorelocal.com/5027 or Google 5027.
Do you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state? Did you miss sending out a prior year tax return? The IRS is out to collect now more than ever, and they'll use any means necessary. They legally can and will garnish your wages, take your money, and even seize your property. If you're behind on your taxes, call the Tax Relief Hotline right now at 951-224-9000. That's 951-224-9000. 951-224-9000. You can legally get your tax debt under control, and in many cases, get the breathing room you need. Garnished wages, property seizures, bank levies can stop immediately, but you have to call. Many of our specialists are IRS enrolled agents. They know the system and how to make it work for you. Don't wait for the IRS to come down on you. Act now so you can get your tax debt under control. Call the Riverside office today for free info at 951-224-9000. That's 951-224-9000. 951-224-9000.
For all you truck and RV enthusiasts, TruckWorks right here in Banning is your one-stop shop for the best diesel performance and overall truck and RV needs. Whether you're towing, racing, off-road, or just cruising around town, TruckWorks specializes in truck and RV service, maintenance, repair, and performance upgrades for every light and medium-duty truck manufacturer. Bring it down to Terry and the guys at TruckWorks. Call 951-922-4776 or visit their website at mydieseldown.com today.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET, 1490 AM. And I'm going to say something that I didn't think I would say, and it's this. Go watch Eternals. Okay, I will say Jesse kind of pumped me up because he saw it over the weekend, and then I just saw it yesterday on the IMAX, by the way. And Jesse, I'm not going to lie, I want to see it again, and I very rarely ever say that about anything.
Right. I mean, it's different from the regular Marvel movies. It's not action packed, but you know what? I enjoyed the story, and I just enjoyed each individual character. But it's also just, you know what? It's just an entry point to being so much bigger.
Well, and I think, again, some of the ending I was completely confused about, and you kind of gave me some, like, perspective, so I didn't really see that. But I will say a latest story about Salma Hayek, who I thought really hit it out of the park. A, she looks great, by the way. And B, she got into shape really quick. And C, this is the latest headline. Her Eternals costume, and there's no way you won't cry hearing about it. Here's why. She plays Ajak, right? Also known as the head Eternal in charge, along with being a boss. And she comes with a pretty cool superhero suit. Now, she's added to a short list of other Latinas like Zoe Saldana and Tessa Thompson, who've graced the Marvel universe with their presence. And the impact of another Latina joining a franchise is well something that she's not. It's she gets it. She appreciates it. Now, she joined Marvel Studios' Victoria Alonso in a viral Spanish language interview with Despierta America, and talked about her first reaction to seeing herself wearing her Ajax suit. She said, "When I put it on, I burst into tears. Not like in telenovelas, but the tears came out, and I said, what happened here?" She continued, the image of it did something to her, and she said, why? Sama then realized what caused her to have such an emotional reaction, which brought back those same tears. She said, I saw my brown face in a superhero suit. And in seeing my face, I saw your face. I saw my face as a little girl who had to have a lot of courage to dream big. I saw the face of all the little girls, and I realized that a door had opened where I didn't enter alone. But inside that suit were all the Latinos who waited so long for this moment. Victoria, who's the president of physical post-production and virtual effects and animation, and as a Latina herself, added just how important this moment was to the universe. A moment so important because, don't forget, I've been at Marvel for 16 years trying. And I told her this, the first time I met her, that she had no idea just how long I waited for this moment. And not just for this moment, that it was for Sama. There was no other person for me that could do this character, but for feeling what she felt, for feeling what you are feeling this moment, for all the girls and some boys feeling represented, or to be represented, and looking in a mirror and knowing that one can be a superhero, that is timeless. And that's what Eternals is all about, right? So there you go. They save the world. They don't destroy it. And there you go. That's all I'm going to say about that. And let the rest fall where it may. All right, people. Make it a great day, whatever you do. Remember, life is worth living, so live it well. Bye-bye, everyone.